welcome to my channel.
Elizabeth McGovern is an American actress and musician known for her versatile performances across film, television, and theater. Born on July 18, 1961, in Evanston, Illinois, she moved to Los Angeles during her youth when her father accepted a position at UCLA. McGovern began acting in high school plays and pursued formal training at the American Conservatory Theater and Juilliard School. Empire. She made her film debut in Robert Redford's Ordinary People, 1980, and gained critical acclaim for her role as Evelyn Nesbit in Ragtime, 1981, earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, McGovern appeared in various films, including Once Upon a Time in America, 1984, She's Having a Baby, 1988, and The Wings of the Dove, 1997. McGovern achieved widespread recognition for her portrayal of Cora Crawley, Countess of Grantham, in the British television series Downton Abbey, 2010-2015. Her performance earned her nominations for both Emmy and Golden Globe Awards. She reprised this role in the subsequent films Downton Abbey, 2019, and Downton Abbey, A New Era, 2022. Vanity Fair. In addition to acting, McGovern is a musician and the lead singer of the band Sadie and the Hotheads, which she formed in 2007. The band blends folk, rock, and Americana influences and has released several albums. McGovern has also been active in theater, performing in productions such as Love Letters, Hamlet, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. She made her producing debut with the film The Chaperone, 2018, in which she also starred. Since 1992, McGovern has been married to British director and producer Simon Curtis, and they have 2 children. Early life and training. Elizabeth Lee McGovern was born on July 18, 1961, in Evanston, Illinois. Her father was a university professor and her mother a high school teacher, which provided a supportive, intellectually enriched upbringing. The family moved to Los Angeles, where she attended the Oakwood School, a progressive institution known for encouraging the arts. Her interest in acting solidified during high school. She briefly attended the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco, then earned a place at the Juilliard School in New York City, where she trained in drama alongside contemporaries like Kevin Spacey and Val Kilmer. Clapperboard film career highlights. Elizabeth McGovern's film debut was in Ordinary People, 1980, directed by Robert Redford, but it was her next role, as Evelyn Nesbit in Ragtime, 1981, that launched her into the spotlight. At just 20, she earned an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Some notable film roles include Once Upon a Time in America, 1984, playing Deborah, opposite Robert De Niro. The film has since become a cult classic. Lovesick, 1983, romantic comedy with Dudley Moore. She's Having a Baby, 1988, directed by John Hughes, starring opposite Kevin Bacon. The Handmaid's Tale, 1990, in an early adaptation of Margaret Atwood's novel The Wings of the Dove, 1997, a supporting role in the acclaimed adaptation of Henry James's novel. TV Downton Abbey and television stardom. Although she worked steadily, her global fame skyrocketed with Downton Abbey, 2010-2015, in which she played Cora Crawley, the warm yet firm Countess of Grantham. A unique aspect of her character was her being an American heiress, mirroring real-life historical figures who married into British aristocracy, a role she portrayed with nuance and strength. She starred in 6 seasons of the series' 2 feature films, Downton Abbey, 2019, and Downton Abbey, A New Era, 2022, her performance garnered Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. Musical notes. Music career. Sadie and the Hotheads. McGovern has a parallel career as a singer-songwriter. In 2007, she formed the folk rock band Sadie and the Hotheads, showcasing her talents as a guitarist and vocalist. Their music blends Americana, Celtic folk, and alternative rock, and has earned a loyal following in the UK and Europe. They've released multiple albums, including I Can Wait, 2008, How Not to Lose Things, 2012, Still Waiting, 2014. Her music is deeply personal, often reflective of her experiences balancing fame, womanhood, and family life. Face mask. Stage work. A seasoned theater actress, McGovern has returned often to the stage. Her credits include 3 Days of Rain, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Time and the Conways, God of Carnage, Ava, The Secret Conversations, 2022, where she portrayed legendary actress Ava Gardner, and also wrote the play based on a book about Gardner's final interviews. Movie camera. Producer and writer. She produced and starred in The Chaperone, 2018, a period drama directed by her husband Simon Curtis. The story, set in the 1920s, explored women's freedom and identity. Themes. McGovern often gravitates toward family, man, woman, girl. Personal life. Elizabeth McGovern married Simon Curtis, director of My Week with Marilyn and Woman in Gold, in 1992, and they have 2 daughters. The family lives in London, and McGovern has become a dual citizen of the US and the UK. Brain, legacy and style. McGovern is often admired for her subtle emotional depth in performance, cross-disciplinary artistry, acting, music, writing, longevity in an industry that often sidelines women over 40, ability to play both aristocratic and working-class roles with authenticity. She is not only respected for her talent but also her grounded, introspective nature. Unlike many in Hollywood, she has led a relatively private, scandal-free life, focusing on meaningful projects rather than commercial fame. Artistic identity and philosophy. Elizabeth McGovern has often defied traditional Hollywood expectations. Rather than chasing mainstream fame, she's chosen depth over visibility, gravitating toward roles and projects that explore emotional complexity, historical identity, and female autonomy. She once remarked in an interview that she doesn't see acting as the art of being looked at, but rather as the art of empathy. That philosophy explains why her work, whether in film, TV, theater, or music, often centers on women navigating inner conflict and cultural pressures, rather than grandiosity or spectacle. Movie camera. Transition from Hollywood to British cinema and theatre. McGovern's move to London in the early 1990s marked a significant pivot in her life and career. While she was a rising star in Hollywood, she found the British creative scene more artistically fulfilling and personally sustainable. Her marriage to Simon Curtis played a role in this transition, but the cultural shift also gave her freedom from the Hollywood beauty machine. She began taking on a broader range of roles in BBC dramas, West End productions, independent films that challenged conventional narratives by choosing quality over celebrity. She established herself as a serious, long-form actor in the UK, and one of the few American actresses to be fully embraced by British theatre and television. Sadie and the Hotheads. A musical outlet. Her music isn't just a side project, it's a core outlet for her introspective and narrative voice. She writes most of the band's lyrics, often exploring motherhood, love and imperfection, disillusionment with fame, personal aging and reflection. Unlike her reserved on-screen persona, her music is raw, unfiltered, and quirky. On stage, she is far more relaxed, often engaging the audience with dry wit and self-deprecating humor. It's a revealing contrast that rounds out her identity as a multifaceted artist. Not confined to scripted drama. Thread, The Chaperone, and creative control in The Chaperone, 2018, which she co-produced and starred in, McGovern took control of her narrative. The story, based on Laura Moriarty's novel, is about the early life of silent film star Louise Brooks, but focuses more on the older woman, played by McGovern, assigned to supervise her. The film examines the tension between tradition and liberation, female mentorship, the pressure to conform to roles defined by society. It's a film that encapsulates McGovern's consistent feminist undercurrent, not loud or polemic, but quietly persistent and deeply human. Compass cultural impact and legacy. McGovern has become something of an artist's artist, widely respected within the industry, particularly in Britain, where her Downton Abbey performance brought her late career acclaim. Her character, Cora Crawley, is one of the few American aristocrats in British period dramas who is not reduced to a caricature. McGovern's performance infused Cora with warmth, pragmatism, empathy, especially toward women of lower classes and her daughter's ambitions. Magnifying glass. Why she matters. She's part of a rare group of actresses who found greater success after their 40s. She shows how creative reinvention, across genres and countries, can lead to longevity. She quietly challenges the gendered standards of the entertainment industry, not through confrontation but by modeling a more grounded, personal way of making art. Receipt quotes that reveal her perspective. Here are a few standout quotes that offer insight into her mind. I was never cut out for the fame game. I always felt more like a worker than a star. Music gave me back the joy of creating something just for myself. Downton gave me the kind of success I could appreciate because I was old enough to know what to do with it. Brain connections to other artists. McGovern's collaborators over the years include Robert De Niro in Once Upon a Time in America, Helena Bonham Carter in The Wings of the Dove, Maggie Smith and Hugh Bonneville in Downton Abbey, Laura Linney, who shares a similar path of toggling between serious drama, independent film, and public television. Her husband Simon Curtis has directed films like My Week with Marilyn and Woman in Gold, often casting actresses in rich, character-driven roles, a shared ethos between the two. Decade by Decade, a career overview. 1980s. The ingenue years. McGovern entered the industry during the golden age of prestige character-driven cinema, not blockbuster culture. Her Oscar nomination at age 20 for Ragtime, 1981, positioned her as a serious actor early, a mixed blessing, as it came with enormous pressure. Films like Once Upon a Time in America, 1984, and She's Having a Baby, 1988, showed her range. Tragic, nostalgic, romantic, and intelligent, all delivered with subtlety. Theme: young women constrained by social or romantic expectations. 1990s, transition and reinvention. McGovern's move to the UK and shift toward theatre and independent films marked a conscious departure from Hollywood's narrow roles for women over 30. Films such as The Handmaid's Tale, 1990, and The Favour, 1994, showed her embracing edgier, less glamorous parts. She became a regular on the British stage, working in Chekhov, Shakespeare, and modern plays, building craft, not headlines. Theme: exploring mature, morally complex women who don't conform. 2000s, musical rebirth and domestic focus. As she focused on raising a family, McGovern worked selectively in small UK TV films and theatre. Her creative energy shifted toward music, founding Sadie and the Hotheads in 2007. This decade was about artistic ownership, and her lyrics often reflected a woman navigating domestic life, faded fame, and personal creativity. Theme: creativity as survival, identity beyond motherhood and celebrity. 2010s, global acclaim via Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey, 2010 to 2015, made her a household name again, but on her own terms. As Cora Crawley, she embodied the bridge between American directness and British restraint, often serving as the moral and emotional center of the show. She was praised for her emotional control, particularly in storylines involving her daughter Sybil's death, often more powerful because of what she withheld. Theme: emotional strength through quiet resilience. 2020's creative legacy and authorship. The Chaperone, 2018, was a precursor to a new role, writer and producer. McGovern adapted the screenplay herself from Laura Moriarty's novel. Her 2022 West End play, Ava: The Secret Conversations, where she portrayed Ava Gardner, reflected her interest in women shaped and misshaped by Hollywood. Reprising her role in Downton Abbey, A New Era, 2022, gave fans closure but also reasserted her legacy as a defining presence in period drama. Theme: female agency reclaimed, in front of and behind the camera. Anti-clockwise arrows. Recurring themes in her work. 1. Women on the edge of social change. Whether in Ragtime, Downton Abbey, or The Chaperone, she plays women caught between old and new worlds. Her characters often absorb the cost of change, quietly reshaping their surroundings from within. 2. Elegance without vanity. McGovern is often cast in aristocratic or upper-class roles, but she subverts them with empathy and humility. She's rarely the ice queen. Instead, she reveals the loneliness and moral ambivalence of privilege. 3. Creative control. Starting in the 2000s, McGovern has carefully chosen projects where she owns the narrative, whether through her music, producing, or writing. She's built a model for how older actresses can reclaim authorship in a youth-obsessed industry. Brain intellectual approach. Elizabeth McGovern is widely respected for her intellectual depth, often reading voraciously and citing classic literature, political history, and feminist theory as influences. In interviews, she avoids celebrity gossip and instead speaks thoughtfully about the role of women in art, the pitfalls of early fame, navigating aging, and self-worth in a hyper-visual industry. She's also noted for her emotional intelligence, a trait evident in her tightly calibrated performances and her off-screen demeanor, which is low-key and unpretentious. Classical building. Comparative context. In terms of career trajectory and artistic values, McGovern resembles Laura Linney, another introspective actress who's shifted between indie film, theater, and prestige TV. Gillian Anderson, American actress who found greater respect and freedom in British creative circles. Frances McDormand, someone uninterested in fame or fashion, but ferociously dedicated to storytelling and character. Graduation cap. What Elizabeth McGovern represents. She is not just an actress or a musician, she represents a different path. A rejection of Hollywood's manic pace and aging taboos, a fusion of American directness and British refinement, a commitment to craft and curiosity over celebrity and awards. Elizabeth McGovern is a reminder that art, when treated seriously and pursued with honesty, can sustain a full and meaningful career, even if it takes place mostly off the tabloid radar.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching.